Busy opening week, 4 different events that you guys got to take to the water. What was your assessment? Just how did things go?
Well, we got into Sacramento Saturday morning. Weather conditions weren't necessarily fabulous, but they definitely took a turn for the worse on Sunday. But Saturday, I think, was a bit of a pretty steep learning curve for us. We did not come out where we wanted to be pretty much across the board. And I think there were, some big disappointments from the students themselves. And we recognized a few technical issues that we would address later on and before we went out racing in Davis. We expected UCSD to be fast. In the 8, they were about 3 seconds in front of us. And in the 4, they were about 30 seconds in front of us. And that was one that really left us a bit stunned. Our novice, of course, they missed their race. They went up to the start. They kind of got lost in the mayhem of only what racing season can be. And here comes the race, and there was a lot of boats in that race, and we were like, oh, there they are. Wait, that's not them. There they are. That's not them. And then you come to the realization that they're not in it. The starters said that they would not start races without the kids, but somehow the wires got crossed, and so they let them do a time trial down the course, and they inserted them in the timing of things. So while there's a time that's displayed for them, they really did row that course by themselves. So you can imagine the mortification of missing your first race. So Saturday we wrapped up. I think things went as smoothly as they could, all things considered, and then we moved to Davis, and it's a phenomenal place to row. It's in the port, and to get to the start, you have to cross over this body of water that at the point of launch, there were truly white caps, and it was raining, and it was windy, and we had a coaches meeting, and we went out, and the UC Davis ladies, they grab their boat, they walk out of the boathouse, they've got tank tops on, they push off, and they row off into this white cap mayhem. And we were all just kind of standing on the water's edge thinking, is this really going to come off? And so we figured, when in Rome. So we launched our boats, and races got off a little bit late, but I think we showed up on Sunday. I don't necessarily think that we were there on Saturday. I don't know if it's just first race of the season, but all the boats generally performed much better. I did become pretty conservative after the big boat races. I just wasn't sure that our 4s would make it across that body of water without sinking, and we experienced that last year in Tacoma, Washington, at the start of the race, in the middle of the race. So I withdrew our entries from the 4s events, and everybody followed suit. So I think it was the right decision to make. Then we packed up everything for a second time, and we went out to Lake Briones. St. Mary's College hosted us, and Mills hosted us for scrimmages on the following days, and we split the groups up at St. Mary's. We did shorter pieces. Scrimmages generally are shorter pieces so that it's not counting towards the rank, so nobody will get penalized. And we finished pretty poorly behind St. Mary's on Saturday, and we figured out a few gearing issues for our team after Saturday. And when we raced St. Mary's, we believe that they probably took some of their boats and made them more even to make it a competitive scenario. And we did exceptionally well. We beat the varsity 8, beat 4 out of 4 St. Mary's. We know it wasn't their original lineup from race day, but it was pretty close, and I think for us that just gave us the confidence that the gearing things and the missteps that we made on Saturday, that we kind of improved upon that. 4 days of racing, I will never be afraid to do it again. It was a great experience. There was great training that took place, and I felt like every time you came back from a race that you did and you didn't perform the way that you wanted to, we talked about it, we really worked on those types of things, and they came back and they proved that that the training is paying off. So I don't think we perform well at Sac State, but I do think that we'll see better performances hopefully the next time we come out. Novice, of course, when we split the two groups up, it was a dynamite experience for them, and if not a little bit chaotic for the coaches that were running those scrimmages for the days, just because novice are, obviously new to the sport of rowing. But I think overall, if I could plan spring break over again for the last 10 years, I would do exactly the way that we did it this time. So it was a lot of fun, really good racing.